Hello everyone and welcome to Love Inspiry YouTube. It's your girl Angie, the founder of Love Inspiry LLC, where our mission is to build more powerful, more transparent, and more durable relationships. And we do that all through helping couples overcome their relationship adversity, as well as preparing individuals to enter healthy relationships. Today's topic, we will be talking about struggle love. Why do people love struggle love? Stick around because I'm going to tell you what inspired it, and then we're going to get into some facts. So this video was inspired by Erica Mena Safaree. I was once again in the shade room looking at some comments and looking at their content or whatever, and I saw where they had posted a video of Safaree and Erica Mena and their baby girl dancing to some Spanish music, and they were having a good time. They were enjoying themselves. They were doing what happy couples do, right? And all of a sudden you hear comments about them being corny or, he's corny or this, that, and the third. And so Erica Mena got on and defended her husband, of course, like any real wife would when he's being attacked for legit no reason, and has some words to say. And I'm going to play a clip and we're going to talk about some things after that.
So I find it kind of interesting how when a man is like comfortable with being himself, loves life, makes the best out of things, isn't fake hardcore trying to be hard, ain't calling, queens out their name. When a man is like legitimately confident with himself, when a man enjoys life and enjoys, making the best out of things, dances because he feels good inside, says, what he wants to say because he means it, and just really is, a good all-around man. When a man is really confident and just carefree, is a jokester, loves to dance, vibes out, isn't pretending to be something he isn't, why is that corny for y'all females? And I gotta take a moment to talk about this, because it's sad, because it's a lot of the females that are quick to call a man out his name are the same females that go after the men who aren't happy with themselves. So they're bitter inside because they give their all to a man that can't even love themselves, let alone love them. And it's just sad, especially like in these blogs like Shade Room and all these toxic, internet little outlets that's out there. There's a lot of hurt women out there, and it rolls over to, hurt men as well. But it's like a lot of y'all lonely. And y'all lonely because y'all overlooking a good man. Why? Because y'all want to be with the hardcore thug, the man that's pretending to be everything that he isn't. And it's sad because, love is a beautiful thing. And I've been married. It's about to be a year this September. And I really enjoy my husband. My husband has taught me to kind of, take a deep breath and chill and enjoy things and make light out of things, especially because a lot of what goes on in the world is out of our control. And
here's my issue with what, people were saying. People were upset because she clapped back, and it's like, well, if you're happy, why does it bother you? But at the end of the day, if somebody is attacking your husband over some BS, like him being corny because he's dancing with his wife, I would clap back too. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with people being offended because they don't have somebody to clap back for. They don't have that genuine partner to ride or die for. And second of all, what is corny anyway? Like, please explain to me what somebody that's dancing with their wife, dancing with their baby girl, enjoying his life, enjoying his wife. How is that corny? What is corny about that? He's corny because he is a decent man, hasn't been in no scandals about abusing his woman, cheating on his wife. Like, is that corny to people that he's not in a situation where he's being disrespectful to his woman or out here embarrassing her, like that's corny to people. Please help me understand what corny is. The third thing is, it all boils down to this. People love struggle love. People like to be in struggle love. I don't care how you cut it and slice it. That's what it is. And we're going to talk about what struggle love is and how we can overcome all of that. Okay, so let's define what struggle love is. I mean, what I'm talking about when I talk about struggle love. So when I think of struggle love, I'm thinking about love that is, it's hard to love a person. It's hard to have peace within the relationship. It's hard to find joy with this person. It's just very difficult. Like, you're struggling to love this person. You're struggling to be in a happy relationship. You're struggling to be content within your relationship. So when I'm talking about struggle love, that's what I mean. People that like thugs, people that like hardcore, people that will get them into trouble, or women that are very contentious and dramatic and things of that sort. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about struggle love. But why do people like struggle love? And one of those reasons is because people like drama. People thrive in toxicity. And I know it sounds stupid. I know it does. But it's true. People love to be in toxic situations. And I feel like people that, you know, love that type of drama, they love that type of drama for a reason. And one of those reasons could be because their childhood upbringing. You know, a lot of people didn't come from a healthy two-parent household. You know, they either came from a two-parent household where it was a lot of fighting going on, where it was a lot of abuse going on, or they came from a single-parent household where they saw baby mama and daddy drama and things of this sort, or maybe you were abused as a child. Your childhood upbringing will have you thinking that struggle love is normal. If you weren't raised in the right environment to love and talk things out and, you know, find a way to have peace within the relationship, you will start to think that struggle love is normal. And struggle love is not normal. Also, some people like struggle love because they feel like it's better to just stay in this bad relationship than walk into the unknown. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. Why would you want to stay in a situation where you're constantly fighting for peace, where you're constantly fighting to have joy within the relationship, as opposed to just getting out of the relationship, regrouping, and possibly finding somebody that is going to love you the right way, somebody that you can have peace with? Because that's what a relationship is all about. Of course, there are going to be trials and tribulations. Of course, you're going to go through things, but overall, the good days should outweigh the bad days. You should find some kind of peace within the relationship. And I feel like people that don't have this peace, you know, they don't want this peace, because you have to think about it. You can get out of your situation. So if you don't get out of the situation, it's obvious that you don't want to be out of the situation. You know, don't let fear of walking into the unknown or starting over or relearning somebody or somebody relearning you get you to think that you should stay in this struggle love situation. And the last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to why people love struggle love is desperation and self-love issues. A lot of people are out here and they don't have self-worth. They don't have self-love. You know, they're trying to pour into somebody from an empty glass, and obviously you're pouring nothing into the situation. You're probably causing more damage in the situation by doing so. So it's really important that you have, you know, identify that, you know, your self-worth, you know, identify your self-love, gain you some self-esteem before you entertain a relationship. I always say that because it's very significant when it comes time to have confidence in your relationship. And also desperation. Listen, it is not okay to stay in a relationship out of desperation. You know, that's how your relationship turns toxic. That's how you end up in a situation where you're in struggle love and trying to, you know, just, you're taking it day by day, and, you know, the days aren't good, and, you know, you feel defeated in every situation. No. Let it go. Let it go. You know, it's people stay in struggle love and they deal with struggle love for literally multiple reasons. I can go on and on, but these are some of the reasons that I just wanted to highlight because I feel like they are most significant. Childhood upbringing is very important. And then not only that, because we can't, at some point, we can't continue to blame our childhood upbringing, right? At some point, we have to be adults and say, what can I do to change, not change, but adapt to my past? How can I turn this negative that I went through to a positive? How can I make it better for my relationship? Not just my relationship, but how can I make it better for myself? How can I make it better for the future kids that I'm going to raise? How can I make it better? You know, if I was to wallow into every bad thing that happened to me, I would be a very crappy person. I would be very bitter. I would be very angry. But no, I have said to myself that how can I learn from this situation? How can I take this situation and make it better for myself, make it better for my husband, and then when I have future children, make it better for them? So we have to start, you know, not saying, you know, using our childhood, even though it does shape us. I'm very, very adamant on that. Stop using it as an excuse to stay where we are at and continue the behaviors that we are continuing. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse at all. So we talked about childhood upbringing. We also talked about some people have a fear of walking into the unknown. Listen, we walk into the unknown every single day. We don't know what's coming our way when we get up out of that bed and we step out on the highway and we go to work. You know, God forbid something can happen to us where, you know, it's important that we live in the right now and focus on what we can do in the right now. And if you're in a struggle love situation, your right now is to either figure out what you can do to get out of that struggle love, or how you can talk to your partner to turn struggle love into, you know, some kind of genuine love. And then we also talked about desperation. I can preach this till I'm blue in the face, but that's something that you have to decide that you don't want. You don't want to be desperate. You want to have self-worth. You want to have a high self-esteem. That's something that somebody has to want from within. I can tell you all the good things about yourself. I can praise you. I can do all this stuff, but you have to want that for yourself. So let's talk about my overall thoughts on this specific topic, and then we're going to talk about some ways to combat that, because y'all know I'm all about solutions. Okay, so before I get into solutions for this problem that, you know, people tend to have, I want to give my overall thoughts. And here's my thing. Why do people see two people happy and get upset about it? Like, they're corny because they're happy, because they're enjoying each other. Like, why is that such a thing? Why is that an issue for you? I mean, really think about that internally. Like, what are you gaining by being upset because you see two people genuinely happy? And you know, one thing that I really want to say is people love scandal, right? So if your name is not mixed up in a cheating scandal, a lying scandal, some kind of scandal that is derogatory, you're all of a sudden a villain, right? As opposed to the people that are in this situation where they, you know, have some kind of scandal behind their name. You know, why aren't those people the villain? Why is it always the people that are trying to live a godly Christian life and enjoy each other as a couple, just mind their business and have a good time? Why are those always the people that are vilified? Why are those always the people that are hated on the most? Like, stop hating on people because they have a happy marriage, because they genuinely have a dope relationship, because they genuinely have a strong friendship. Why is that such an issue for people? You know, my thing is, unhappy people will think anything is corny. You know, Safaree dancing with his wife and his daughter, why is that corny to you guys? Why? The thing is, many people legit are dying to have people show them the positivity that Safaree was showing his wife Erica and his daughter, right? So she's seeing this positive vibe. You know, a lot of people don't have somebody, you know, like Safaree, a father figure that's showing their daughter how a man is supposed to treat her. And that really bothers you guys. You guys are really bothered by that. Instead of clapping for them, yeah, girl, you know, she found her a good one after going through all these dumps that she was dating. She finally found herself a good man that's going to love her son, love their child together. But you guys see that and it's corny. Why can't we just genuinely be happy for couples that are genuinely happy with each other? Why is that such a hard task? I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. It just really boils down to people do not like to see other people happy. You know, my grandma always tells me, you know, when I'm talking to her about certain things, you know, people want to see you doing good, but they never want to see you doing better than them. And even people, when it comes to their own children, like people hype their own children up no matter how bad their children are, no matter how wrong their children are, you know, and I find that personally with adults. People, you know, parents, if they feel like another child is doing better than their child, they get upset, they jealous, they start acting funny towards you and this, that, and the third. Why does it have to be all that? You know, and this is why I don't like comparison to anybody. You know, I look at my husband and I's marriage situation, and our marriage resembles my grandparents and his parents, it's very uncanny. That's an episode for another time to explain that situation. It's very, very weird how similar our marriage is to those. But I don't even like to be compared to them. Like, me and Nate are our own little dynasty, and my in-laws and my grandparents are their own little dynasty, and they're separate in their own healthy and encouraging ways. But we have to stop with this comparison thing. And we have to start being happy for people that are happy with each other and happy within themselves. You know, God, the same thing that God is doing in somebody else's life, he can do in yours. He can send you your Boaz. There's no need to hate on Erica because she found her Boaz and had a healthy child with him. I'm assuming, I don't know, having a healthy child with him, and she's living a happy and joyous life. There is no need to call that situation corny. You know, I would love to know why people think that's corny. But anyway, I don't just talk junk. For those who are new to me, I don't just talk junk. I like to talk about solutions and ways that we can really, really deal with the situation and focus on change. And so that's what I'm getting ready to talk about now. Okay, guys, so let's talk solutions to this issue. It's really, really significant that you identify what has impacted you and what has shaped you in your life, you know, starting from childhood, whether it has been abuse, whether you have been raped or molested, whether you have had just a single mother or a single father, or whether you saw two unhealthy parents, whatever the case may be, you have to really sit down and identify what has shaped you as a person. Why do you think the way that you think? Why do you do the things that you do? You know, this is really, really important to discuss because our past definitely shapes us, like I talked about earlier. You know, we are shaped by the things that happen to us. And in order for us to fix the issue and really get to the root of it, we first have to identify what it is that happened to us in the past to make us think the way that we think. What can you go back on in your mind that, really impacted me? And I think about Lauryn Hill's daughter when she was talking about, how her, dad wasn't really around as much as she would have liked. I think about when she talked about, her parents or her mother spanking her. Now, I kind of think that was kind of, we all got a little spanking here and there. I don't know if what she described to me wasn't really abuse, but if that's the way she perceived it, then that's her perception on it, whatever the case is. That shaped her. She talked about how that shaped her in her relationships with people today. So we've got to really identify, what trauma happened. And then once we identify that trauma, then we can work to fix it. We can work to mend those relationships, and then, work to accept those apologies that we never received, so we can give love to somebody and then receive that love back from them. Once you have done the internal work and you figured all that out, then and only then can you decide what type of person you want. And not only want, what type of person you need in your life. What type of person is going to, make you feel extra good about yourself, because you should already feel that anyway, but extra good about yourself. What type of person is going to support you? The type of person that's going to make you secure and feel safety within the relationship. If you try to find somebody before you do that internal work to figure out what triggers you, what traumas you have faced, you're setting yourself up for a full-blown disaster. You can't. It's like working backwards. You have to figure out you first and then focus on the person that you are desiring and wanting and needing in your life. What happens when you do that is you end up settling for somebody that does not deserve your attention. You know, once you find out the real you and you do all that nitty gritty work, you know, you'll realize I'm deserving of love. I'm deserving of a faithful person. I'm deserving of somebody that's going to show vulnerability. And if you don't know who you are and you haven't identified those triggers and worked through those triggers, you are going to accept and tolerate things that you don't need to accept and tolerate. So it's really, really significant. I cannot stress this enough, that you really focus on those traumas and working through those traumas. How can you combat those traumas? You know, everybody's trauma is going to look different, and I would be here. That's a whole nother video to sit and go through each trauma and how to get through that and what you should do. But one thing I will say is a lot of us are still, and I touched on it a little bit like a few minutes ago, a lot of us are still looking for apologies from parents and people that have done us wrong that we're never going to get. And you're going to have to learn to accept that apology that you never got. You're going to have to learn to move forward in the relationship, because I guarantee you that person that you're looking for that apology from, they're on about their life, doing their thing, having a good time, while you're sitting here stuck in misery, which is trickling over to your relationship, which is trickling over to how you view other relationships, calling other relationships corny because they're in love and they're genuinely happy with one another. No, focus on yourself, focus on getting yourself happy, you know, because that's a lot of our issues come from us not being happy with ourselves and being secure with ourselves. You know, when I looked at that video of Erica Mena and Safaree dancing with their baby girl, I saw joy. You know, I saw happiness. I saw a couple having a good time with one another. I didn't see corniness. And that's because I am content with myself. I know I have accepted my past. I have dealt with it. I have forgiven people. I have moved on. And then I have done the work to, you know, put myself in a position where I know what type of man I want. And I found all of that plus some in my husband. Somebody that's supportive, somebody that's compassionate, somebody that is faithful, somebody that is encouraging, you know, because that's very important in a relationship. You have to have a partner that's going to encourage you. If you constantly put this person down, you are, you know, you're making them be less vulnerable with you, which is never okay in a relationship. You're making them, you know, feel like they're not worthy, which is, you know, never okay in a relationship. You're making them want to step outside of the relationship. So you have to be encouraging in your relationship. So listen, I've talked enough on this subject. Please leave your comments below and let me know your thoughts on the situation. Why do you think people like struggle love so much? You know, why do you think people call the situation corny when it really wasn't that corny? It was two people having a good time, you know, just enjoying each other, a married couple enjoying each other. Tell me your thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe to Love Inspiry YouTube. And also don't forget that the Breakover Series episode 6 will be back, I want to say September 13th. We were on a 2-break hiatus, but we'll be back with the second half of the series. So I thank you guys all for sticking it out with me, and I'll see you all next Wednesday in the next video. Have a blessed day.